Welcome to the 40 Plus Life. This week's guest is someone many of you may already know as the Curious Mummy, Donna Jackson, a blogger and Instagram creator who's built a warm, welcoming space online through her love of being a mum to two beautiful children, but also delicious recipes and honest storytelling. But Donna's journey goes far beyond food. In 2022, she experienced the heartbreaking loss of her husband. Since then, she has chosen to share not just meals and moments, but also the reality of grief, openly, courageously, and with a vulnerability that has resonated with so many. Donna, a very, very warm welcome to the 40 Plus Life. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me, and what a lovely intro. Oh, thank you.
Well, I hope your day is going well. Tell me, how are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm good actually. I'm taking 5 today, which I never ever do. And yes, I am surrounded by washing. So outside of this box here, there is the washing machine's going. There's piles of ironing, but no, I'm all good. I'm actually just about to make a new recipe for Instagram, so I'll share that bit later.
Fabulous. So you do a lot of food recipes. So food recipes, you do a lot of recipes on your Instagram, don't you?
Yes, I do. I do. I just love food. I think growing up, I was bothered by food, but wasn't really. I was out partying, just having fun. And then when you have children, you really do think about nutrition and what's going into them. And then, your body change. Well, my body certainly changed. So,
Yeah.
it's all about nourishing and, yeah, looking after yourself. So I share recipes that I hope are nourishing and tasty and don't taste like wet feet.
No one wants dinner that tastes like wet feet, particularly children.
No, exactly.
So, Donna, you've been really generously open and honest about your journey through grief and the loss of Gareth. What made you want to share so much of your story?
Do you know, it wasn't really on purpose. I think because Gareth and myself and the kids had been so visible on my social media, it felt when the time was right to share it, it wasn't automatic. It was a good couple of months after. It felt like the right time to tell people that, things have changed and Gareth's no
Mm,
longer here. Um, but then as I started writing, it was quite cathartic for me, because grief can feel quite alone. It's a real lonely game.
mm,
So talking and sharing was amazing for me because, I reached lots of people who were in the same situation. And actually, as time has evolved, it's not just people that are grieving the loss of a partner. There's lots of other types of grief. And then there are people that have found other losses in their lives that
mm.
they've also shared with me. And actually, in the beginning, when people would talk about divorce, and that grief that people carry, I couldn't quite understand it. But as I've got older and, I'm more into this grief game, I get that. And loss
Mm.
is loss. So, yeah, it wasn't a plan, but I'm here and I'm sharing and I'm hoping that it
Yeah.
helps others. And I think talking is the best therapy.
I remember I've got a friend of mine who actually has trained as a grief counselor, and it wasn't until she was telling me about that, like you mentioned, the grief of a divorce or the grief of, like you say, any kind of loss, that
Yeah.
actually you do need to take on head on, but actually acknowledge it and go through it. And they're not all the same types of grief, but they're all grief
They're all grief.
nonetheless.
Yeah, and it's a journey, like, everybody's
Yeah.
on this journey. Our losses might be different, but the journey is not the same, but it's still rebuilding, and, like,
Yeah.
for me, I had to relearn who I was. So when Gareth passed away, a part of me died too, which sounds
Mm.
quite morbid, but actually I look back on reflection, and if he met me today, he would be a bit shocked because I'm just different now. And,
Mm.
I'm not cold and hard, which you would expect from a widow. It's not the 1940s anymore. The story is that I would say I'm bright and vibrant, and
Mm.
life means something different to me now. And I take every moment for what it is. And yeah, I just don't look back, which is a really nice place to be, particularly in your 40s.
I
So,
bet. I
mm.
bet. Well, my next question was going to be, how are you and the kids doing 3 years on?
Yeah,
Was it 4 years on now?
it'll be 4
Mm.
years in June, yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, we're good. We're good. We're such a tight little we were tight before, but it's just a different level of tightness.
Mm.
We really look out for each other, me as a mum, but me as their friend, and likewise with them. And I feel like we've really been through a journey, but our little adventures, I look forward to them in every way. And our conversations, yes, we do keep Gareth alive in those conversations, but he isn't the be all and end all of our lives. You know, our lives
Yeah.
now revolve around us a bit more, which is a nice place to be. So we're good.
Good. Well, I'm glad to hear that. And how do you sort of prioritize yourself in your little trio, your little musketeer trio?
Yeah, how do I prioritize? I think priority is really important, and
Yeah.
I think I've suffered with overwhelm in quite a big way since losing Gareth because I'm trying to
Mm.
keep them alive, myself alive, 3 cats and 9 cactuses. But,
Oh my God.
there's so
I
much
didn't
going
know
on.
what you were going to say when you said nine cactuses. I wasn't expecting that.
No, but there's no one to rely on. There's no family close by, although I do have family that do help. And I'm trying to keep everyone moving and alive, really. So because of that, overwhelm has been quite a big thing over the last couple of years.
Mm.
However, we've got a really nice routine, and I always turn the laptop down. I switch it off, sorry, at 9 o'clock. So there's no work, no interference, and that's my time. So the kids have to be in bed by 9 so I
Yeah.
can then have my time. And I think that resets me. And then I know I can go into the next day feeling less overwhelmed. So routine and structure is quite important, I think, just to help navigate this period or navigate previous periods. But it's
Do you
my
find do you find if the routine changes that it'll make you wobble?
I think it would have done maybe even 6 months ago, but
Yeah.
now I've now developed into a much more relaxed, less routine focus. The routine is there, and I think the routine is good for the kids because it keeps them safe, and we all know what's gonna happen, in the next this afternoon, what's gonna happen this afternoon. We know what's gonna happen this afternoon. But I think for me, I can let things go. So yesterday, the routine was completely out. Mainly because we were traveling and we got back, and then rather than come home and do homework and get all the washing done, I was like, do you know what? Let's go out for a roast dinner with some friends. So we did that. We kind of blew the doors off and
Yeah.
didn't stick to routine. And yes, the kids went to bed late, but they did go to bed before 9, and that worked. So I got my
You
time.
still got
I
your
still got
9 o'clock boundary in
yeah,
place, but you
exactly.
were able to break out within your frame.
Exactly, exactly. And I think for me, that's a no negotiation. Like that has to stay. Or if the kids do stay up, I always say I can't, because normally what they want is they want me to sit with them and read with them and have a conversation. Um, you know, there's lots that go on
Mm.
in bedtime. So with bedtime, if I always say, well, I won't be able to do as much of that tonight. And
Yeah.
then they go, oh, actually, no, I'd really like you to sit and cuddle or sit and have a conversation with me. So they know and I know. So we've got it. We've got it all worked out.
You have bedtime is often one of those moments though where like when I pick up my kids from school and how was your day? Fine. You're like, okay. And then suddenly you go try and get them to bed and that's when all the just it all
Oh
comes
God.
out and they want to chat. And I don't think it's just about them putting off bedtime. I think that's just when their brain just starts to, I don't know, kick back into gear to maybe make sense of the day. I think at the end of the school day, they just haven't got anything left in the tank until they
Yeah,
recharge.
I agree with you actually. And I particularly during the last 3.5 years, that's what I found the most that, for example, my son Finn might not want to talk about what happened at school,
Mm,
but then we'd get to that last half hour before bedtime and we'd be sat in his room together, maybe looking at a book or talking about something, and then it would all come out. So I
mm,
think we'd always say it was like our safe time where we would talk and, they're both old, they're sort of too old to have bedtime together. So one goes to bed a bit earlier than the other, but I have to carve out half an hour for each child because it's
yeah,
their time to decompress and then for me to help them make sense of what's happened to them in the day. And
yeah. What
yeah,
what age are they now?
gosh, Finley is 12,
Yeah.
which I still can't get over because 12-year-old is just too
I
grown up.
know.
And then Olivia is going to be 10 in June. So it's,
Oh,
they're growing up.
they are. Gosh, mine have just turned 14 and 11
Oh,
and
wow.
just don't know where it comes from. Well, I know where it comes from, but just don't know how that time has flown so fast. We've got one of those video screen photo frames in the living room and the pictures that come up and I just think, gosh, that was 5 minutes ago. I can
Oh, I know.
feel them.
It's,
I can touch their faces in my mind.
yes.
There's little squishy faces, and now suddenly it's, I've got a teenager that doesn't want to leave her room, and my 11-year-old is still firmly by my side, but she goes to senior school in September, and I don't know how quickly that's going to change.
Oh,
Suddenly, she's
no.
going to be joining the teen vibe. She keeps going, "I'm not going to be like that. I'm not going to be like that, mummy." And I'm like, "You might
Yeah, you
be.
might
It,
be.
it might happen. It might happen." Donna, you've said actually in one of your recent posts, actually, that I was stalking your Instagram, that you've been on a journey of self discovery, healing, and growth. What have you learned about yourself?
I've learned that I'm really strong. I've learned that I can say no without offending anybody, because I
Hmm.
think, oh, I don't know, I've been a people pleaser my whole life. I would change, be a chameleon just to suit a situation, which I think most
Yeah,
people do. But I could never say no, and I would be desperately unhappy and go along with things because I thought that was the right thing to do. But
yeah.
I think this journey has made me, really protective of my boundaries and really protective of me and the children. So if
Mm.
things aren't right for us, I will call it out straight away. And I think you have to be strong to do that. And
Yeah,
and you do develop. You've got no choice but to be strong. So I
yeah,
feel really strong. And situations that would probably phase me, I don't know, 10 years ago, I would probably be on the phone to my mum crying, and I got to it. And now I'm like, yeah, do you know what? It's going to be fine.
yeah.
What's the worst that could happen? It's fine. This is our plan. Let's go.
It, I guess learning that no is a complete sentence as well,
Yeah.
and that you don't have to come up with an excuse or a reason. I still feel like that sometimes when if I don't want to go to something, that I've got to come up with a reason, and why, and over explain myself. And actually, you can also just go, no, can't do that.
Can't do
Can't do
that.
that today.
Yeah, exactly. I just think there's something nice in being able to say no. It doesn't work for me,
Mm,
and I think people respect that. I think people want that honesty. Yeah, okay, you might not be going along with their plans or what they want, but if it's not working for you, you're not going to give it 100% or whatever. So I think it's really empowering to be able to have control over that and say no.
so the strength that you found has, I wonder whether that has sort of seeped into other areas of your life. Has it seeped into your work? Has it helped you in lots of ways?
Yeah, because when Gareth was unwell for 6 months before he passed away, and then he
Mm,
passed away suddenly. But in the moment of him being unwell, in the first couple of weeks, they kind of, what's the word? My life flashed before, or our life flashed before my eyes, and I was
yeah,
like, oh my god. I'm going to need to go into, a stable working environment, because I was freelancing and doing lots of stuff on Instagram. And I thought, no, this isn't going to be enough just in case something happens. And I was
yeah,
thinking that he might be off work for a long period. That's what I was thinking, not this. But this happened, and I started this job, and I went in thinking, I'll just kind of go in, do my bit, go home. But I think because of, you know, the situation that I was put in with Gareth passing away and me having to be strong and me having to
mm,
rethink everything, um, all this kind of underlying creativity that I had sitting and bubbling in my tummy and my head for years and years and years, but I was too afraid to say I want to make those changes or do something.
yeah,
And I have to say, I think I've become very fearless as a result of his death. So because I feel less fearless, I'm able to give opinion and able
yeah.
to move forward with a task or a creative idea. And I did this for the employer that I'm currently working with, and we've seen like huge benefits off the back of it. Like we've
Oh,
won
wow.
awards, we've had viral moments, and I think, wow, this wouldn't have happened if I was
The
kind of
person you were.
the person I was before. So
Gosh.
and I always call this bit the after, because it's in a new chapter. I'm in a new chapter now, and
Yeah.
this new chapter is seen me be much more confident. I mean, I can get up in front of 100 people and not like have all the butterflies in my stomach now, whereas before I
Wow.
probably would have collapsed and found my excuses and left. But I
Yeah.
I don't care now. I don't care in a good way. I care
Yeah.
that I can deliver something and not worry about what people think.
Is it partly that life is for living? You can grab it by the horns and really cherish every moment, take every opportunity.
I don't want to say you care less. You don't care less, but you don't worry so much about what people expect of you, or
Yeah.
and then that kind of just goes. Because you don't know if you're here tomorrow. So and no one's going to remember you for the girl that couldn't stand up in front of 100 people and deliver a
Mm.
speech. People are going to remember you for being you. And I think if I can show my best self every day, if I want to do that every day, I will. So, and
Mm.
I do. And I get a lot of pleasure, when I am at work, I get a lot of pleasure out of the ideas that I come up with and the plans that we make, and then seeing those things come into action rather than worrying about what the budget might look like or whether my boss might
Yeah.
like it, or, all those things that you would naturally worry about. I think actually the reason why I'm doing this is to get us from A to B in a really good way. So
Yeah.
let's do it. And I think if I believe in it and I've got passion about it, other people will. So yeah, I think going back to your original question, I think I'm less fearless now, but I've got purpose because we don't know where we might be tomorrow. So I just
Tomorrow's not promised.
tomorrow's not promised.
What can other people do to support someone or a family like yours that has gone through this kind of loss or is going through this kind of loss? What really helped you and your kids?
There's a few things. I think the big one, and I feel this more, I think because it's been almost 4 years, people think that I'm okay, and I am okay. But, if I don't go to work or if I'm working from home, I don't see another adult unless they're at pickup.
Hmm.
So actually, that's really hard because I've got two wonderful kids who will grow into adults, but they're not going to want to hang around with 45-year-old mummy,
Yeah.
and I won't be 45 then. And I think it's people and talking. So it's making sure that if you are supporting someone going through a loss, that
Mm.
you haven't forgotten about them after the first few months, because people do go away after a few months. It's like newspapers. Once the story's
Yeah.
out, people have moved on. And I think it's supporting those people,
Yeah.
supporters. It's encouraging people to kind of come back in and, just checking in,
Yeah.
even if it's just saying, I don't know what to say, but I'm here for you. Or do you fancy going for that walk? Or, you
Mm.
know, here, look, I can babysit your children. I've got a friend, actually, I'll be very quick. She's super lovely. And she knew both Gareth and I. And she phones and texts constantly. And sometimes I don't have the energy to reply back to a message. I just can't sometimes, some
Yeah.
days. And she'll just turn up at the door and she'll say, Right, Donna, I haven't heard from you in a week. I'm taking the kids out. And she
Oh,
just gives
wow.
me a couple of hours to myself, or she takes the kids off and they do something lovely. And I am so grateful to my friend Eve, because she's just wonderful.
Oh, everyone
Yeah.
needs an Eve. Well done, Eve. It's either take the kids off your hands for a bit, or just say, right, get your shoes on. We're going for a coffee, or we're going for a walk, and
Yeah.
I'm getting you out of this house. Go have a shower.
Yeah.
Go
Exactly.
put some lippy on. We're going for a glass of wine, or just making sure that they just turn up for you.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's everybody needs an Eve, I think. I think that's the
Yeah.
key. So making sure that even if someone has passed away and you've been there for the beginning, actually checking in a few years later, like always just
Mm,
being there. You don't have to be there 24/7, but it's nice
yeah.
just to know that people are there.
And I can imagine as well remembering the moments that maybe anniversaries and
Yeah.
moments that will be tough for you,
Yeah.
whether it's a birthday or an anniversary, or maybe just the kids have achieved something special, and that must be really wonderful for you to see. But I can imagine that also has its sort of share of heartbreak in there as well. That Gareth's not here to see the kids, I don't know, get that prize at school or pass that exam.
Yeah, it is. Like there are days where things happen and you want to share it with your person, and because my
Yeah.
person's no longer here, I go through my head and I'm like, do I let my best friend know? Actually, does she really care? And then I go, should I let my mum know? And I think, well, I know she'll care, but is what
Will
sh
it be the
will it be
same?
the same? Is it going
Yeah.
to be the same reaction? And like all those people mean so much to me, and they've been there all, forever.
Mm.
But it's not the same as having your person. So,
Yeah.
yeah, just check, like, as I say, my friend Eve or my friend Laura or my mum, those people will often just get in touch and just say, "How you doing?" And it's really nice, and you need that. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think consistency and being there for people is really important.
And what tools have helped you and the kids most over the last years? What I guess therapy has been important?
Yeah, I think primarily we've all had counselling, and
Mhm.
then we've had bereavement counselling, which is slightly different. It's a bit more therapy. It's a bit more intense, and I think with grief you get a bit stuck sometimes. And like I
Mm.
was going through a bit of an angry period, and I couldn't understand why. I'm quite a jolly person, so to get cross, not about anything, but just cross about stuff or how I
Yeah.
got here. Um, and a therapist has helped with that, made me unstuck and has given me perspective to kind of make those decisions to get, over that period. But yeah, the children have had counselling through their school with a charity called Place to Be, and I've had my support through Mind, which has been incredible. And then outside of that, it's just a friend of mine always said, you must keep yourself busy because people won't always come to you. So I sort
Okay.
of try and make sure that a couple of times a month we get people over. The kids have got somebody to hang out with. I've got somebody to hang out with, and we just make sure we do that. And then I don't know whether why I do this, but I love travel, and yes, I do love a holiday. But I think for me, getting away from our lives as it's been has been
Yeah.
quite nice to go off and get lost in another country, if we can afford to do so, and we've done that quite a bit, and it's been lovely. So
It's
yeah,
been nice to see. I like to see your pictures. I love following your Instagram, and it's funny to see people's holiday pictures of someone that you don't actually know, but be so
yes,
happy for them. I'm so happy when I see your
no,
kids all smiling and you having a great time, and looking like you're living life and really making really special memories and moments for them.
yeah, exactly. And I think you hit the nail on the head. It's just making really lovely memories. We had
Mm.
6 months of probably horrible memories, and I'm not scratching that out or trying to take it
Yeah,
away. I think I'm trying to show the kids that actually, we've got some really good memories coming up, and we've made some lovely ones, in between
yeah,
that time. And I'd say they're pretty well-rounded individuals because of the experiences that we've been through,
yeah.
the good and the bad, but mainly the good now. So
Oh.
yeah.
So I saw you recently started talking about a grief walk. Tell me more about it.
Okay, so I'll just go back a step. So it was over, when was it? It was Easter bank holiday, and I just climbed this 15-meter wall and then abseiled off, and I felt brilliant because I'd not done that in since I was a teenager.
Did you just feel like doing it one day, or was it something planned that
Well, my daughter is really into climbing, so I said, "Look,
okay.
let's go. We'll do it." We were on this kind of adventure holiday, and I said, "I'll come and do it with you." And I said to the trainer, I was like, "I haven't done this in years." And he said, "It's fine." I said, "No, it's the climbing bit I'm not worried about. It's the jumping off bit I'm so petrified over." And
Same.
he's like, "It's fine, just lean back." And I was like, "Oh, what you mean I can't look down?" He's like, "No, no." Anyway, did all this. And when I did it, I felt incredible. And he's like,
Yeah.
"You're going to want to do it again." So of course I went back up it and kept doing it and did it many times. But I felt really good, it started making me think, what has really helped me over the last couple of years? And lots of experiences have helped. So I've kind of tapped back into old hobbies,
Mhm.
running. I've had loads of running injuries, so I'm on hold for that. But lots of things that have made me feel good. But also the other underlying thing that makes me feel good is people. So
Mm.
being with people and doing experience are for me the two sort of key things that have kind of got me out of really dark patches. So I went onto Instagram and I just said, would anyone like to meet up? Like, I don't know what this is, but if there is someone out there that's experiencing grief and that feels a bit rubbish, would you like to meet up? So 60 people got in touch and said, yes,
Wow.
we would. So I was like, what do I do
Oh, oh
now?
no, now I've got to do
Now
it.
I've got to do it. Then I said, how about we do a walk and talk? So we walk around one of the London parks, and if people can make it, they can. And if they can't, and we can talk about our grief, we can not talk about our grief, but we can just be there together. We can do a
Yeah.
lap around a park and with a coffee maybe, and then that's it. And so more people have now got in touch and said, yes, we'd love to do that. And then it got me thinking, like, maybe this could be a nice movement. And it's called the after movement now. So I've named it. I've given it its
Okay.
own name. And the after movement is about getting like-minded individuals together. We're all in this situation because of circumstance, but actually,
Mm.
what a lovely way to make friends, to feel less alone, and be connected to those that share a similar story or experience. So, the first walk is coming up next week. I don't know if anyone will turn up, but I'll be there. And then we're going to do a series of events, like smaller in-person events where people can
Yeah.
meet up, they can talk, they can experience something which will make them feel good, like infrared light therapy or a supper club or florist arranging. I don't know. But lots of activity
Watch
to,
this space.
yeah, to get people together and connected. And my aim is to make people feel less alone in this.
Oh,
Uh,
it could be the next park run.
it
You
could
could be
be.
starting something huge that you don't even know yet.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'm here for it, and I'm just going to see where it goes. And if
Yeah.
I can help one person feel less rubbish,
Mm.
then I've done a good job.
I think it's also important for people who have gone through that loss that can speak to somebody that genuinely understands what they're going through. Because
Mm,
if you're talking to somebody that hasn't had that kind of loss, that doesn't quite understand, well, just doesn't understand the sort of the colossal impact on your life, that must
yes.
be, that's going to be a really special walk for whether people do want to share their stories or, like you say, just want to be there,
Yeah.
just being around that sort of energy of people that truly get it. That, I can imagine, is going to be really powerful.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so because I mean, after Gareth passed away, um, I did feel really alone. I felt like I
Mm,
was the only, oh God, how old was I? 42. I thought I was the only 42-year-old in the world who had lost
yeah.
their husband. And I just felt so, and I know I wasn't, but I felt like it. And then I joined various groups, and I didn't have I just didn't feel connected to anybody, and it just didn't
Yeah.
feel good. Um,
Were they online groups?
One online, which was then going to turn into an in person, but the in person, there was no consistency. But whatever,
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't work out, and I
And you've got
felt
to try the different things, haven't
you've
you?
got
Because
to,
there's no, I mean,
yeah,
there's no grief glove that fits everybody, is there? I mean, that's just going to
no.
help fix how you're
Exactly,
feeling.
exactly. And then, like, as I've been through this journey, I realise, the many aunties that I've got who have also been widowed, and I never thought to really go to them because it always felt like
Yeah.
they were too old to really get it. But grief is grief, and as I'm going through this process and speaking to many people, people from the age of 100 all the way up into somebody in their early 20s that have
Yeah.
experienced quite significant grief. But so I've got hair in my face, it's gone now.
Ah!
You
You've
can
got it.
feel it. I was like, what's this? A whisker.
We're just
Oh, it
that
wasn't a
age now.
whisker.
It might be a whisker.
No, shoot me down. I just think that actually a shared experience can really make someone else feel better about where
Yeah.
they are, and they feel less alone. And I think that's the key really from all of this.
We are both in that mid-40s age bracket. So how are you dealing with the sort of the hormonal changes of the decade that we're in?
Oh my God. I mean,
It's
I
quite
don't
brutal, isn't
I
it?
don't know where to start. It was the wake, well, it was the kind of mood swings that started, and then the
Mm,
periods, and then the weight gain. It was all of these
yeah.
things. And like, for example, with the weight gain, I would sometimes just have one meal a day and it would get worse. And I was like, this isn't fair. I
Yeah.
really love food. So of course I've switched that up now. But I just didn't understand myself. And I've been in this body for so long. And actually for a long time I blamed grief. I was like, this must be grief. And then I'd
Yeah.
go to the GP and I was like, all these things are happening. I'm losing my hair, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, oh no, it's just your grief. And I'm like, this is not grief. I know that this isn't normal, but
How interesting that the doctor thought that and didn't sort of go look at your age and go, oh, hang on a second, there's some dots to connect here.
yeah, well, I had a couple of blood tests, seen
Yeah.
various doctors at the same surgery, and sadly, they all. I just don't think there is enough around for GPs to
Mm,
know, and I think the big issue is that it's the listening part. They don't want to listen, and we just sound like hypochondriacs. And actually,
yeah.
we're not. These are real things that are happening. Like, I don't know about you, but you might not have got to this bit, but I started getting itchy ears.
Oh, I've had the lot. Don't you worry. All my symptoms started really early. Mine all started at around 38. So I think I'm almost nearly through the other side. I mean,
Oh,
I've gone through the lot. I've had the weird gums, the itchy ears, the crawly skin where it feels like there's insects on your
yeah,
skin. I'm like
yeah.
scratching my head thinking I've got nits from the kids at school, and it's not. It's just this weird sensation. I got the burning tongue. I mean, you name it, I've had
It's just
it.
incredible. Well, I've recently started with I found a private menopause doctor, and she's
Mm,
wonderful. And we've been through different types of medication, but I'm now on a patch and some
yeah,
whatever, something else, and it's been amazing. Like actually, I spoke to her today, and I feel like $1 million. I felt like the way
yeah.
I was when I was in my 30s. So
You suddenly feel like a new person. I think because
yeah,
you, particularly because you start to feel so bad that when it does kind of swing back, you do suddenly feel like you're 20 years younger when actually you're probably just back to before when everything started going wrong.
yeah,
But it's amazing the difference it makes. I mean, obviously everyone's got to, I've said this before on here already, that, you've got to find your own right path for you when it comes to your health and hormones and HRT and all of that, because I know it's not right for everybody, and
no.
medically it's not right for everyone either. But yeah, what if you can find it? Oh my goodness,
Yeah,
it really.
it's incredible. I mean, I feel great now, and I've changed my diet. So I think I was addicted to sugar for, way beyond being perimenopausal. I think,
Yeah,
in my 20s, I love sugar,
same.
but exercised an awful lot, so didn't notice it. But yeah, I gave up sugar and I ate a lot of protein, but with
Mm,
carbohydrates and other bits. And the combination of all of those bits together have really worked for me. So
good.
I feel good, and it's nice to feel like this at this age, and only have to worry about covering over grey hair. So
Oh gosh, tell me about it. I was looking here waiting when you were to join me, and I just looking in the webcam. I'm like, going, oh God, I need to do those bits on top of the head. They just ping up, don't they?
yeah, they just
The
sort of
little white
fly up.
hairs. They're just like, woo, hello, I'm here. Don't try and hide me. So annoying.
I know.
So Donna, the 40 plus life has the tagline taking on midlife with style. So how has your style changed and developed now that you're in your 40s?
This is a really interesting question for me because I think my style has always been bright, bold, beautiful, very trend led. And I still love the trends and will always
Mm,
dip my toe into a trend. But I think now I dress for my body. Um, you know, I I don't worry so much about what other people think, but I think about what makes me feel good. So, if it's a slightly baggy top or a high-waisted, barrel leg jean,
yeah.
I'll be in that. I think when I was growing up, I was always very self-conscious because I had these skinny, spindly legs. They're not like that now. But and I would be desperate to wear something short, but then people I felt that would look at me and go, "Oh, look how skinny her legs are,"
Oh
but
no.
then look how fat her tummy is. Whereas now it's all the balance. Like my body is much better,
Yeah.
and I dress for me, and I think that's a really nice place to be. And I do make an effort. Like I always wear earrings. I'll always put a little bit of skin makeup on. I'll always wear nice shoes or trainers. There's always something, and I think with my style now, it's relaxed, but while I might go in a classic Breton top, I might wear leopard print trainers to kind
Yeah.
of offset that sort of prissy, boring look, or nice jewelry to go with it. So it's relaxed, slightly trend led, but it's got to suit my figure, and I think that's
I
the
know.
key.
I wish it's that old adage, what if you knew then what you know now. I wish I had dressed more for what suited me and not just what I felt I needed to wear to fit in, and
Yeah, exactly,
the
exactly.
little A-line skirts of the 90s,
I know.
did you that you're probably referring to there. Did we really need to wear them? I mean, we
Yeah.
probably did just because that was the look, wasn't it? That was the trend. But if it didn't suit your body, then there would have been a better shape for you. But we didn't know.
We didn't know.
We
And
didn't
actually, I
know.
look back, funny enough, when you approached me about this, I did look at my old pictures of me when I was like in my teens and early 20s. And I don't know, like somebody should have told me about skincare and blue eyeshadow because blue eyeshadow Is a no-no.
It's not a look
And I
for
wouldn't wear it
everyone.
now. I wouldn't wear it now, but yeah.
It's finding those right shades. Oh gosh, the frosted eyeshadow, Donna.
Oh,
Oh
yes. Oh,
God,
yeah.
frosted shadow that went all the way up to the eyebrow. So bad. So bad.
Oh god, yeah.
You live and learn, don't you? You
You
live and learn.
do.
Now, we're going to do a little game of this or that. So it's supposed to be a fast speed round, but no one's managed that yet. So if you want to elaborate, feel free
Okay.
because like I say, no one's done it yet. So this or that, summer picnics or winter roasts.
Ooh, summer picnics.
Oh, nice.
Hmm.
Oh, you kept it short. Wine or cocktails?
Oh, wine all the way.
What's your tipple?
Oh god, I love, I love a Gavi.
Mm,
So I always have a bottle of that in the fridge, or just a New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc. You can't beat it, and it smells
there we
nice
go.
too. Yeah.
Nice.
Mm.
City breaks or a week on a beach?
Beach all the time. Yeah.
Same. Oh God,
Yeah.
I love the beach. I love it so much.
Me too.
Funnily enough, we kind of chatted about this earlier. School run chats or bedtime chats?
Ooh. Ooh. Well, probably bedtime chats because they're much more quality,
Yeah.
with the kids. Yeah.
Gym workout or a long walk?
Ooh. Ooh.
Oh,
I don't know. I love
torn.
walking. I love walking for obvious reasons, and I love going out with a coffee and walking with a friend. But then I
Mm.
do like to know that I've done a proper workout. But then do we like a gym? No, I don't like being in the gym.
I don't like the gym. I was paying for the
No.
gym for about a year and just didn't go. And I was like, that could have been a savings account. And I had to bin it. I was like, I don't want to go. I don't like it. I don't like the treadmill. I just don't. So it's gone. It's gone
Yeah.
from my life. But I am still doing, I'm playing paddle now, you see. So, and I'm out walking. So hopefully it's enough. Hopefully it's enough. Recipes or cooking by instinct?
Okay. Can I just slightly elaborate on this?
You can caveat. Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know if I can answer that because a lot of what I do is instinct. It's all about taste.
Yeah.
So yes, I will look at a recipe and I write recipes, but I do love to go on in. You just know what's going to work.
Mm.
So yeah, a burrata with some pesto is always going to work, or
Oh,
some roasted tomatoes with some balsamic is always going to work.
yeah.
So
Mm.
it's sweet and salty. So yeah, yeah, that's a hard one. Probably, yeah, just winging it.
Okay, we'll go by instinct. And
Yeah,
then once you discover what the dish is, then you've got a recipe.
exactly, exactly.
Skincare or makeup splurge? What are you more likely to do?
I don't really wear a lot of makeup because I don't really know how to wear makeup. I do know how to wear makeup, but I can get it wrong. So I'd rather invest in skincare. But that said, I got this and I bought this because the winter has been so long, I'd say, that I got this amazing like bronzer. Don't know
Oh,
if
yeah.
you could actually see that. And it's the only thing that makes me feel like sunshine. And people go, "God, you
Oh,
look like you glow." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's my bronzer." But it's amazing. So yes, I probably wear bronzer and mascara, and that's probably about as far as and a blusher. But that's about it. So yeah, probably skincare. That was not the answer you really wanted, but there you go.
no, that's perfect. That's it. It was one or the other. Do what you like. Online shopping or in-store browsing?
Oh, in-store browsing every day.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Oh, although to be fair, I do like a bit of both, but I do love to touch and feel things and
Yeah.
see it right there and
Try
be
it on
inspired.
and pretend
Mm.
that this is gonna really work. Whereas I get so disappointed where I've bought loads of stuff online and it's mounting up because 'cause I'll never take it to the, post office. So yeah, I hate myself for that really. So yeah, it probably should be in-person shopping. I much prefer that.
Well, you mentioned the laundry in the background, so I'm going to go with messy kitchen or perfectly tidy space.
So I love a tidy space. I think for me, for my mental health, it's like super important. So
Can
I know
imagine.
I'm sat here with all this laundry around me. So I probably should feel quite stressed, but I don't. I don't because I know that it's all going to go away in a minute. But no, tidy space always. Nothing better than waking up in the morning to
Oh
a tidy bedroom or a tidy kitchen or
yeah.
yeah, super important.
When you really just use that last little ounce of energy and clean down the surfaces and loaded the dishwasher, and then when you come down in the morning, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
thank you, last night's me. have to say that to myself sometimes when when the cars run out of petrol and you've got to get up and, I don't know, go somewhere early the next day, and I think, oh, can I be bothered to do it now? And I think, no, 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 do it for the Katie of the morning. She said she's going to love you, but you did it now. Donna, I always like to finish with my guest leaving a recommendation for our listener. Is there something in your life right now that you're loving, other than your bronzer, or maybe a show you've been watching, or a website that's helped you, or a hobby? Is there something that you can recommend?
Oh gosh, I think the bronzer probably would have been my recommendation, only because it's the only thing, as I say, that's got me through this whole winter.
Yeah.
And I actually just feel really good about myself. So, might have a grey day, but if I put a bit of bronzer on, I just feel amazing. So that probably is my recommendation. I barely watch TV actually, just because
Oh,
it's,
really?
yeah, I love TV and my background is television. But sometimes like screen exposure and scrolling on your phone can just sort of be a bit too much. But I think to make myself feel good,
Mm.
yeah, it's this bronzer. And
What is it?
I've had it for
Cosas. I don't know that
Cosette,
brand.
yeah, I think they've been around for years.
And it's just something that makes you feel like you've put on a little bit of armor for the day, or just brightened you up.
Yeah, just yeah, brings me to life, and I just know I
Oh,
can take the world on because I am glowing. So yeah,
fantastic.
yeah,
Well, Donna, it's been such a nice chat.
it's been
And
lovely.
again, thank you so much on behalf of, I'm sure, people out there that are going through loss as well, that you are so open about your journey, because I'm sure it's really helped a lot of people. And I'm really wishing you the best of luck with the walk. No, what was the name of it again?
The after movement.
The after movement. Well, look out for that and go and follow Donna on her Instagram. You're at The Curious Mummy.
Yes, that's right. That's me.
Go find
Lovely.
her. She's in a lovely yellow dress in her picture, bringing sunshine to your outfit and your world. And thank you so much for listening. I'll be back next week with another episode of the 40 Plus Life. But Donna, thank you again. It's been really, really lovely.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been brilliant.
Well, if you enjoyed that, please do like, subscribe, and leave me a review, because it'll really help me get the podcast out there. And tell your friends. I'll see you next week.